INTC, Intel Inc. Complete Master Breakdown. Fifth Company, Sunday, May 10th, 2026. Like and subscribe, The $1 Investor. Remember, I'm not a or your financial advisor. I'm just a blue-collar working bus driver who found the formula to getting wealthy $1 at a time. I can only offer you a drink of water. It's up to you to know if you're thirsty enough for it. Intel is company number 5 inside my YouTube portfolio. Ticker symbol INTC. And Intel is not just another semiconductor company. Intel is one of the original American technology giants. For decades, Intel helped build the digital backbone of modern society. Computers, servers, phones, vehicles, military systems, data centers, artificial intelligence infrastructure. Semiconductors are now the nervous system of the world economy, and Intel used to dominate that world. That is what makes this company interesting today. Not perfection, not hype, not momentum, a comeback story. What Intel has done the last 5 years. The last 5 years for Intel have been rough. Intel lost technological leadership. The company fell behind Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company in advanced chip manufacturing. AMD began taking market share in processors. NVIDIA exploded in artificial intelligence chips. Intel became viewed by Wall Street as an aging giant struggling to catch up. Revenue declined heavily during portions of the semiconductor slowdown. Margins collapsed compared to historic Intel levels. The company suspended its dividend. Jobs were cut, expenses were slashed, factories required massive investments. The market stopped viewing Intel as the king. It started viewing Intel as a turnaround project. That is the truth. But recently, the narrative has started changing. Intel reported first quarter 2026 revenue of approximately $13.6 billion. Data center and AI revenue grew roughly 22% year over year. The company guided second quarter revenue between approximately $13.8 billion and $14.8 billion. That does not mean Intel is fully fixed, but it does mean Intel is still alive and Wall Street is beginning to pay attention again. The biggest part of the story, Intel Foundry. This is the part most average investors do not fully understand. Intel is no longer trying to survive only by selling chips. Intel is trying to become a major semiconductor manufacturer for other companies. This is called the foundry business. Right now, much of the world depends heavily on Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. That creates geopolitical risk. The United States government knows this. Wall Street knows this. The Pentagon knows this. That is why Intel matters again. Intel is trying to rebuild advanced semiconductor manufacturing inside the United States. And if Intel succeeds, this becomes much bigger than a normal stock story. It becomes national security, industrial rebuilding, domestic manufacturing, artificial intelligence infrastructure, semiconductor independence. That is why government money started flowing toward Intel. That is also why the stock became controversial. What Wall Street thinks about Intel. Wall Street is divided. The bullish side believes Intel may become one of the largest comeback stories in American technology. The bullish argument says Intel Foundry eventually succeeds. Domestic chip demand grows. AI infrastructure spending explodes. Government support continues. Intel becomes strategically critical. Some analysts recently raised their price targets aggressively after Intel's rally. Other analysts remain cautious. The bearish argument says Intel is still behind competitors. Foundry expansion burns enormous cash. NVIDIA dominates AI chips. Taiwan Semiconductor still leads manufacturing. AMD continues taking market share. Both arguments are legitimate. That is what makes Intel risky, but also potentially rewarding. Dividends. Intel used to be a major dividend company. That was part of Intel's old identity, but during the turnaround, Intel suspended the dividend to preserve cash. Right now, Intel pays zero dividend. That means investors today are not buying Intel for income. They are buying recovery potential, manufacturing growth, AI infrastructure exposure, long-term turnaround possibilities. Now let's do the math. If somebody buys $1 every trading day, 5 days per week, for 20 years, that equals roughly $5 weekly, $260 yearly, and approximately $5,200 invested over 20 years. At today's approximate price levels, near $118 per share, that would accumulate around 43 to 44 shares if the stock price never moved. If Intel eventually restored its old dividend model in the future, those shares could eventually generate passive income again. But right now, the thesis is not dividends. The thesis is comeback potential. What analysts believe about the next 5 years? Bullish road. Intel successfully executes its foundry strategy. Major companies begin manufacturing through Intel. AI infrastructure demand keeps growing. Domestic chip production becomes a national priority. Government contracts increase. Data center demand expands. In this scenario, Intel becomes one of the largest American industrial comeback stories of the next decade. Middle road. Intel stabilizes. Revenue slowly improves. Foundry losses continue for years but become manageable. The company survives and slowly rebuilds credibility. The stock becomes volatile but gradually appreciates over time. This is probably the most realistic scenario right now. Bearish road. Akai. Intel fails to execute. Foundry expansion burns too much money. Competition keeps increasing. Nvidia dominates AI. Taiwan Semiconductor stays years ahead technologically. Intel struggles to regain trust. In this scenario, the stock could suffer again. That is why discipline matters. That is why position sizing matters. That is why I buy slowly. My personal position. According to my screenshot, 0.475315 shares. Market value $56.20. Average cost $54.70. Total return positive $30.20. Total gain positive 116.16%. Recurring purchase $1 every single day. And this is exactly what I keep trying to teach people. Where else can small amounts of money slowly build ownership inside companies like this? A bank will pay almost nothing. Inflation slowly destroys idle cash. But ownership gives your money the possibility to work. That is the difference. My bottom line on Intel. Intel is not a perfect company. Intel is not a clean growth machine like Microsoft. Intel is not a dominant ecosystem like Apple. Intel is not a digital empire like Google. Intel is a turnaround bet. Intel is an American manufacturing bet. Intel is a semiconductor independence bet. Intel is a strategic infrastructure bet. And for me, that deserves a place inside the portfolio. Not recklessly, not emotionally, not gambling, systematically. $1 at a time, 5 days a week for the next 20 years, quietly, relentlessly. That is how ownership gets built. Like and subscribe. The $1 investor. Remember, I'm not a or your financial advisor. I'm just a blue-collar working bus driver who found the formula to getting wealthy $1 at a time. I can only offer you a drink of water. It's up to you to know if you're thirsty enough for it. Today, I want to talk about the 5th individual company inside my YouTube portfolio, Intel. Ticker symbol INTC. And Intel is personal to me, not because it made me rich, not because I made millions on it, but because Intel reminds me of a different time in America, back when American technology companies actually built things here, back when semiconductor manufacturing mattered, back when this country understood how important chips were going to become. I remember back in the early 2000s buying Intel after the dot-com crash. I think it was somewhere around $12 or $13. I bought some shares, made a little money, sold it. That used to be my system. Jump in, take profit, get out, repeat. But today I think differently. Today I understand something. Sometimes the real money is not made trading. Sometimes the real money is made holding ownership through time. And Intel stayed in my mind because of an experience I had while working at Pepsi. One day I got sent on a hotshot delivery to Intel in Santa Clara. 1 pallet. Simple delivery, but the security there shocked me. Guards checking under the truck, mirrors, escorts, controlled access. It felt like Area 51. And I remember thinking, what the hell are they building in here? That moment stuck with me for decades, because even back then I realized chips were important. Today, they are even more important. Everything runs on semiconductors now. Cars, phones, weapons, artificial intelligence, servers, data centers. The entire modern world depends on chips, and Intel used to be the king of that world. Then the company got humbled. Intel fell behind. Nvidia exploded. AMD gained market share. Taiwan Semiconductor became dominant. Intel lost leadership. Wall Street started doubting the company. The dividend got suspended. Jobs got cut. and the stock suffered badly. But now Intel is trying to rebuild, and this is where the story gets interesting. Intel is not just trying to sell processors anymore. Intel is trying to become America's semiconductor manufacturing comeback. That is the big bet. The foundry business, artificial intelligence infrastructure, domestic chip production, national security. That is why governments care about Intel again. That is why Wall Street is paying attention again. And that is why I started buying again, $1 every single day. According to my screenshot, I own 0.475315 shares. My market value is $56.20. My total gain is positive $30.20. That may not sound huge to some people, but to me it proves the point. Small, consistent investing matters because I am not trying to hit the lottery. I am trying to build ownership quietly over 20 years. That is the mission. Now, Intel does not currently pay a dividend. The company suspended it during the turnaround, so this is not a dividend play today. This is a recovery play. This is a patience play. This is a belief in American manufacturing play. Wall Street is divided on Intel. Some analysts believe the comeback is real. Others believe Intel still has years of pain ahead. And honestly, both sides could be right. That is why discipline matters. That is why I buy slowly, $1 every single day. No panic, no gambling, no emotional all-ins, just accumulation. Because if Intel succeeds over the next decade, this company could look very different than it looks today. And if it fails, my position sizing protects me. That is investing. That is ownership. That is discipline. And that is exactly what I am trying to teach regular working people on this channel. You do not need thousands of dollars to begin. You need consistency. You need patience. You need time. You need ownership. $1 at a time. Like and subscribe, The $1 Investor.